What if I told you there was a 36-year-old YouTuber named after a vegetable who asked his young female viewers to send pictures of their bodies for him to critique, who has been confirmed to have groomed every girl on this list, and who had moved one of his female fans into his home when she was only 16, gaining power of attorney over her, and later using her sexually, and who is thankfully facing a huge lawsuit for his crimes and is probably going to lose everything? Well, all that is true for one man by the name of Onision. In 2010, Gregory Jackson, or Onision, was one of the biggest YouTubers on the platform, who amounted to over 2 million subscribers. But honestly, none of that even matters because not a single thing about this man's career will be remembered other than his absolutely heinous crimes. But before we get into that, could you please give this video a like and subscribe? Recording videos about criminals all day can be a bit depressing, so just one like can go a really long way for me. So, the reason Onision just got one of the nastiest introductions on the Rant Club so far is because over the course of a decade, he would repeatedly use his power and influence to groom and exploit his underage female fans. Onision had created his own website where he hosted forums to chat with his subscribers who were predominantly young girls. It was here that Onision would request his fans to attach photos with prompts such as send before and after puberty pics, rate me from 1 to 10, are your boobs actually too big or small, show off your body abnormalities. It's just absolutely vile. Onision would then go on to make videos judging and critiquing the bodies of his underage fans as if it was an iPhone review or something. I'm going to blur the images of the underage girls for obvious reasons, but know that on Onision's upload, which is still up, he has the photos of the girls in full view. And just listen to what he has to say about them.
Another gorgeous woman. Gosh, how lucky am I? And another gorgeous person who has an awesome hairstyle, who also apparently wants to impregnate me so I can have their babies. Meanwhile, not to show off or anything, am I right? Boobs.
Bruh, what is wrong with you? Bro, if you have to defend how you're not a pedophile this many times in one video?
BTW, I'm 13. Yeah, if I know you're 13, I'm probably not gonna say I'm gonna date you. He'd be much older than me, but oh wells. No, not oh well. Oh wells is worth nothing in prison. Oh look, a 9-year-old or something. If you're looking at a 9-year-old and you're thinking, well, hypothetically I could date her. I don't know. There's just a point, you know?
One, it's probably a sign the video is inappropriate. And two, you probably are a pedophile. Believe it or not, most people go their entire lives without ever having to say, oh, by the way guys, I'm not a pedophile. But Onision just has his finger on the trigger, just absolutely spamming it.
They say they're under the age of 18, even under 13. Don't do anything, it may get you arrested. Don't you think you're being a little cocky? Like I'm just gonna see a picture and go, oh man, I wanna do something illegal now. Yes, hypothetically, if the ages were appropriate. It's very well established that it's hypothetical. And a pairing would only exist if society agreed with the union.
But Onision's criminal activity goes far beyond just his interactions with his fans over the internet. What landed him a lawsuit in the American judicial court was his twisted tendency to groom his fans, manipulate them for years, tell them he was in love with them, and eventually have sexual relationships with them. His list of victims were endless. Every person on this list was groomed by Onision. We're going to focus on two particular members on this list, Sarah and Regina, as these two were the most prevalent in bringing Onision to justice. We'll also have to introduce Onision's trans husband Lainey, who aided Onision in the manipulation of his fans. Regina and Lainey began talking together in a private group chat on an Onision forum when Lainey was 21 and Regina was only 14. At the time, Lainey identified as a straight woman and used that to form a close relationship with Regina. But as you can guess, she was incredibly inappropriate. She would bring up her sex life with Onision and eventually coerce Regina into exchanging lewds with her. This is also around the same time when Lainey formed a close online relationship with Sarah. Regina and Sarah both recall being very excited with their newfound relationship with Lainey, seeming as just like Onision, she was also a very popular creator on YouTube at the time. But unknown to Sarah and Regina, their online relationship with Lainey was all just part of a grand plan coordinated by Onision to gradually groom and manipulate the girls to the point where they could be introduced as the third member of the YouTuber's relationship. The plan looked like this. First, they would build a relationship through online chat forums with the girls at a young age. Then they would gradually expose them to sexual and relationship topics. Then they would invite them to their house, love bomb them, and manipulate them into joining their relationship so that when they turned 18, Onision could legally have sex with them. For Regina, she only got to stage 2 of this grooming machine. Lainey invited Regina to her house in Washington. Regina tried to go, but her mother refused to allow it. Sarah, however, was having a tough time at home and lacked real parental supervision, and so this made her the perfect victim for the YouTube pedophiles. Lainey dropped Regina to form a closer relationship with Sarah, and she was even able to get Sarah to drop out of school and move in with the couple at the age of 16. But it gets crazier. The manipulation goes so deep that Lainey got Sarah to convince her mother to give her and Onision complete power of attorney over her, which gave them the power to make all of these decisions on Sarah's behalf. Can we add another person to the list of defendants for this court case? What an absolutely careless mother. She clearly had no idea who she was signing away her daughter's guardian rights to, yet she did it anyway. It's just sad to think about Sarah. She was having a tough situation at home with a clearly irresponsible mother, and must have saw hope in Lainey's promises of a new home, only to later realize it was all a lie. After the power of attorney rights were signed over, it all went downhill. Onision himself admitted to having sex with Sarah as soon as she turned 18 when he was 33.
I actually slept with Sarah, like 100%.
And what is beyond my realm of understanding is that Onision tries to use this to promote that he's a good guy, because he made sure to wait till she was the legal age. You literal brain dead onion! Having sex with Sarah as soon as she turns 18 just shows that you had the intention to do so when she was a minor, and the only thing that was stopping you was the law, not the fact that it was immoral and disgusting. You moron. But don't worry, the couple is finally going to be punished for their crimes in court, and judging by the look of their court case documents, it's going to be a pretty hefty punishment. Just one of the 5 counts of violations of US laws against Onision for the state of Florida, where the court case is being held, is punishable for up to 30 years. Fortunately for Onision, this lawsuit is charged as a civil suit and not a criminal suit, meaning he won't be getting any jail time. However, you can imagine his bank account's not going to be looking too good after this. What's interesting about this court case, other than the fact that it's being charged by the victim we discussed before, Regina Alonso, is that Lainey and Onision aren't the only defendants for this case. In fact, listed alongside them is the corporation YouTube. So part of Onision's and Lainey's crimes are being blamed on YouTube, and this is because despite news of Onision's grooming, YouTube has kept his content up. This was a problem because Onision used his influence to find his victims. His videos were essentially the first step in his grooming machine, and by keeping his videos up, YouTube was putting so many more underage girls at risk. In fact, the very videos he used to prompt underage girls into sending photos of themselves to him were still being monetized up until 2020. If you thought it was bad enough that YouTube was literally funding a well-known groomer with ad revenue, well, he even had content on YouTube Kids. Are you serious? How can you call YouTube Kids a contained environment if the most well-known pedophile on YouTube is producing content there? Like, you can't call Elm Street a safe and contained neighborhood when you got Freddy Krueger out here on the streets killing people. It had to take a bunch of angry moms on Twitter for Google to have this guy removed from YouTube Kids. And this basically means Google, who owns YouTube, is going to be facing some serious counts as well, such as benefiting from a sex trafficking venture and civil remedies for personal injuries related to coercion and enticement. For a Rant Club recap, here's what we learned about Onision and his profound effect on the internet. For one, we learned about the absolute vile nature of this YouTuber's crimes, and the effects that it had on vulnerable and impressionable fans. But secondly, we also learned that YouTube and even YouTube Kids still aren't completely safe and contained media sites, and certainly aren't the safe havens that they're advertised to be. Although regulating the world's largest media website from predators isn't the easiest task, when a criminal like Onision is let through the cracks, the damages caused are absolutely huge, and so as YouTube grows, so should the pressure to keep it well regulated. And as a final little note, Onision is well known for copyright claiming YouTubers that criticize him, which is why a lot of other creators cover up his face in their videos. But the Rant Club never backs down in fear, so try your best, Onision. Onision was a truly evil individual and is probably the clearest embodiment of what all members of the Rant Club are sworn to fight: terrible YouTubers. The absolute depth of horrific crimes that this guy has committed goes a lot further than what was discussed in this video. There's honestly a huge iceberg of law behind this monster, which I couldn't all fit in one rant. But if you'd like me to make another video to cover the results of the court case as it unfolds, as well as cover the other disturbing things Onision has done throughout his life, really push this video by liking and commenting, because I personally think it really deserves a part 2. For now, let me know in the comments the top 3 places on Onision's body that you would punch if given the chance. Subscribe to the Rant Club, I'll see you next time.